So there's a number of things in the Battlefield 2042 UI that I would go about changing, and I think there's some small changes that could make an enormous difference. I'm not intending here to go through and tell EA and DICE what changes to make, and Criterion as well, and all the little studios that worked on it. I'm not trying to tell them what changes to make. I don't know why they've made these decisions. I'm sure they've made them for good reasons. But there are some things and some inconsistencies that I find weird and feel counterintuitive as a player, and as someone who works with UX regularly, right? Firstly, up here I've got my player card and I've got an edit player card button. I've also got a player card button down here. They do the same thing. Why would you duplicate that? There's no need for a shortcut on the same screen. It's just strange. You've got this representation of your player card down here in like a short form, and this bottom bar here is really your masthead navigation, right? Like this is where all your key information is, and the key information doesn't have a home button. It has a breadcrumb to back button, which is a little bit weird. I've got play up here that doesn't do anything because this is the menu I'm in, the hub I'm in. But I've also got a play button here that does something different and starts a searching timer. I don't know whether you need this little arrow on the left that shows you which one you're hovering over. You've got some cool effects and a glow. I guess the glow's harder to see on the play. So yeah, I kind of get it. Coming in here, you've got your different types. You've got tutorials. You've got select. That's nice and easy. All looks really good. You've got this little thing in the bottom left that keeps spinning and kind of drawing my attention. It's completely uninteractable. It doesn't do anything. Why does it exist? It's just kind of annoying. I thought it was a back home button. I imagine it's like a server status or a network connection or a loading thing, but it's the same as the loading icon, and I just don't know what it does. The news thing or the kind of like information rotator there is good. The options menu has some weirdness with anything that is a progress bar or a slider. You've got multiple different kinds of sliders. So like the sliders in the display settings are like bar sliders. The sliders in the sound are like fill up bar sliders. If you change a slider in the display settings, the audio gets quieter. And I imagine that's just a hangover because they're using the same audio tag to the slider in the general settings. Because of the colors usage here, I don't know if ADS field of view is on or off. I imagine it's off. It makes it more obvious when you switch between them. But because of the color usage, I don't know what on and off is. Like, I don't know whether the dark is positive or the dark is negative. I like the little description of what the stuff does. The bar at the top has now changed from the play, collection, and store to like the secondary menu. So I think what they're doing is they're using this as the secondary menu depending on what screen you're in. And then you've got a tertiary menu down here, which is centered, which kind of makes sense. It's a little bit confusing. I don't know why you wouldn't always like have this stuff in the same place. Like, there are certain things you're always going to want to be able to get to, right? You're always going to want to be able to get back to your hub, ideally in one click, not kind of breadcrumbing back. You're always going to want to be able to see your options. You're probably always going to want to be able to see your social. You're not always going to want to be able to change your player card. Like, that's a secondary action. I don't know why it's on the masthead and always available no matter what screen you're in. But I can see the reason for social. I can see the reason for options. I wouldn't have a back. I would just have a play button. And yeah, like, I don't know why that doesn't do anything. But then when you go into options, you click it and it clearly doesn't have a hit state. So it's a bit more obvious. Like, the options menu works a lot better. You then lose your masthead when you're in the options. Like, you don't have the social and the player card. You've got to restore default and a back, and that's it. Which it just feels like they're mixing up the rule set, right? Like, in some screens it's always present, but in some screens it changes, and like, you just don't know when or where or why. The social menu is a little bit weird, because when you create a party, your party members don't show up here, so you don't know on the main hub screen that you're in a party. The only reason you know is if you click on the social screen and you see your party, which feels weird, because it's like, I don't know if I'm in a party. I don't know if I've got other players with me or if they've accepted or not. You get little notifications going, so-and-so has joined, so-and-so has left, which is cool, but like, why do I have to click on a menu to see the state of the game I'm in? Like, are we ready to queue up? I don't know. Are all the people in? I don't know. Like, yeah, it's a little bit strange. Into the collection menu, I've currently got Falk selected. All of this is fairly sensible. Like, you've got left click to customize and right click for more info, and when you hit on the more info stuff, it shows you a kind of low res, low frame rate video of what the thing does. Which is cool, and it tells you in text form what it does as well, which is also cool. I don't understand how they managed to get this game down to 42 gig. That's a really small size for a game this incredible. I imagine part of it is low-res videos, because there's a lot of like low-res videos around and about. Oh, and sharing audio between sliders, right? As well, I guess. So yeah, it's interesting. There's also kind of like some superfluous information in there, right? Like, yes, it's a gadget or it's an ability. Okay, 3 to activate. That's the button it's on. I imagine this will update if I change my key bindings. Okay, it's not in there on foot. Specialist gadget. Let's change it. Let's change it to 8. Did I change it to 8? Yeah, changed it to 8, or left on the D-pad. Right, now let's go back to... Okay, so it's still a breadcrumbed back. And it does update. It updates 8 to activate. Nice, that's cool. I actually want it on 3, so I'm going to put it on 3. But that's cool. That's nice and good. Like, I like that. It would be cool if it had like a little button logo around it. Like, so you know it's a key that you're pressing. It's not just like a number, right? You've got a really, really good job of the more info things here, where it shows the image of the mouse. Like, you need a design rule set to show what an image of a key is as well, so you know the key does something. So if I click on a operator to select them, how do I select an operator in here? Sorry, a specialist. How do I select a specialist? Well, if I click on them, it takes me to customizing their outfit or their style, right? Whether it's the set of style, which I believe is a mixture of headgear and uniform. Honestly, I would just have this as skin or set. Set is fine. Then combat uniform, I would probably have as clothing, and then I would have headgear. Combat uniform's a bit vague, like word-wise. It's a bit of a strange way of saying it, because I would expect everything they're wearing to be combat uniform, but that's the set. Whatever, that's minor, it doesn't matter. It's nice and easy, show you which ones, what the rarities of them are, show you they're locked and why they're locked and how you unlock them. Nice and clear, awesome. I like the little mesh load-in shader that they use in there to like cover up the loading of a detailed mesh. Like, that's awesome. It looks dope. It covers it up. It feels nice, clean. And I lose my options button here. Like, the masthead's changed again. Like, I've still got social and player card, because apparently these are really important. Social is, don't get me wrong. Player card is not. Why is player card still in the masthead? But options is now gone. Just strange. Takedowns, yeah, once again, some low-res videos. Shows you what's equipped, shows you can equip it. I still don't know how to equip an operator. Or a specialist, sorry, I keep saying operator, it's really bad. I don't know how to equip an operator. But if I click on one, click on skin, and then if I use my breadcrumb back to get all the way back, I've now got it selected. So it's like, oh, I select it by not hovering over it, because hovering over it doesn't do anything. I select it by clicking on it. I don't need to choose something, but I've just realised I've got a legendary thing there, so I've selected it. So I choose it by clicking on it, and then backing all the way out. I don't know how I activate, like, if you went into a UX test and said to a player, go and choose what specialist you want to play, I imagine that the test results would come back going, the large majority of players know how to select an operator or a specialist, because I bet they do, because they probably go in there and go, oh yeah, well I click on it. Oh, I don't know. And then it's selected, right? So your UX test results probably come back and go, yeah, they all know how to select things. It's like, well, I don't think they know how they did it. I think it happened and therefore they passed, right? That's really weird. But then again, I don't know with this menu system, I don't know what you would do to have like an activate button, right? Because on a mouse, you're using left and right click. Space, maybe? No, space takes you in. Like, on a mouse and keyboard, I don't know what you would do. On console, you could have a X to activate, right? As well as, A to customize and Y to more info. Like, you could do that on a controller. But with a mouse and keyboard, it would be a bit harder. I would probably go about left to select, right click to customize, and then E for more info or something, right? But, yeah, strange. Loadouts, super simple, all make sense. You've got a new loadout, you can name it. If you right click on it, rather than giving you a drop down, it gives you this like blocking overlay, which is kind of annoying. But whatever, it's minor. So the new loadout button. Oh, and interestingly, now I've got a back button that takes me not back to specialists, but takes me right back to the hub. But then I've also got the play button that can take me back to the hub as well. So it's like from some screens, depending where you are, from some screens you can click that play button to get back, but from some other screens you can't. So some screens you've got to use the breadcrumb back, some screens you have the option to click the play button. So in the loadouts, selecting left click to change weapon, right click to customize, yeah, all kind of makes sense. You've got weapons, the stats are super clear. Red and green, I know you can change the colours in the settings, but red and green's always bad for colorblind, but you can change that in the settings, you have that option. In fact, let's do that. Let's do that right now. Accessibility, colorblind, yeah, let's do that. Cool. So yeah, so the colorblind stuff all works on that, which is really good. And you can set custom colors as well, which is also really, really good. I don't know why it unselects your weapon, but whatever. Right click to customize. You can customize your primary and your secondary weapon. You can't customize your gadget, and it says change gear, not change gadget. It's a minor thing. Change gear on your throwable as well. Like, just make it consistent. And it shows you what level you need to unlock it. It's nice and easy, nice and cool. This little thing's still spinning away. It's kind of annoying. So right click to customize, and then you get this monstrosity. And I know a lot of people have probably bitched on this already, but like, if you give me plus buttons on a screen, I expect to be able to interact with them. And I get on controller that this will work better. Like, I do get that. Because you have your primary navigation, LB and RB or whatever it is. Then you have your secondary menu here, which once again, like, why is this the choice of secondary menu? Why have you got a left 4 slot thing when every other secondary menu you've got everywhere in the game uses this? You're doing something different for the sake of doing something different, and it feels strange. And actually it would give you more screen space if you used your secondary menu up here, which would allow me to click and rotate the gun, which I can't do. So I can customize it and I can change it, but I can't look around it. So I choose sight, which then like, this thing's on an angle. Why is it on an angle? Like, just to be a bit quirky. You choose your sight. You can replace it. You can right click to move it around, and this is because in game you can press T or whatever it is on console to to change around what your primary site is, right? Yeah, which is fine. Now I can't jump to my other slots though, right? So if I want to jump from scope or site to ammunition, I've got to go back and then choose ammunition, and then I've got to choose the slot I want to edit, and then I've got to choose the thing I want, and then I've got to go back and back and back and back and back. It just feels kind of inefficient. Like, in all honesty, you could get away with just this. Just this. You don't need all of this. You just need this thing, not on a silly angle, and be able to click on any item on it and go, hey, I want to change this scope to something else. Or I want to click and hold and drag on PC. Like, I know that's a PC specific input, and on controller it wouldn't work. But it'd be really nice. But even on controller, like I press X to change slot, I can flip between the slots here nice and easily. Just let me change all of it in one screen. Like, why does it need to be on different screens? And I get you're using the camera, right? So you're doing the camera zoom in on the area that you're editing. Yeah, cool. It's fine. But I think you lose usability by trying to do that, because you want to show that off. You're losing usability for it, and I don't think the value is there if you just allow me to spin the gun around. I can see what I'm editing, right? And the same with hardware appearance. Like, I want to be able to... I'm looking at all this really cool stuff. I want to be able to spin it around to see it all. And I don't know if it's render targeted or what, or if this is actually just a 3D model in space, but like, let me spin it around. Let me use a button to spin it around. Charm's cool. Yeah, dinosaur charm. Dope. And there's some cool customizations, and I'm looking forward to what they do to go forward with this and add more, right? So yeah, that's about it for the loadout. Like, once you get used to it, it's fine. And I guess that's the thing, right? With all of these comments I'm making, it's like, once you understand how it works, it's totally fine. It's inefficient, but it's fine, right? Which is probably the decision that they came to as well, right? Is like, yeah, it works, whatever. Like, it's not ideal, but it's not awful either. Yeah. And then I've got loadouts that I can change, but I've also can go into weapons in here where I can't equip anything, but I can customize. So now left click is customize and right click is equip. Whereas in the loadouts thing, left click is equip and I can't right click to customize. So I'm seeing the same menu here in the loadouts thing as well as in the weapons thing. But I can't... but I can equip from here. I can't equip from the other one. Yeah, it just feels a bit strange. Feels a little bit strange. And then they've got these kind of terminologies for like versatile and long range, extended range, sustained fire. Cool. Is anyone using that? Is that useful for anyone? Like, max minners are going to use the stats, right? Average Joes are just going to choose the weapon they feel is good. I don't know if... Yeah, maybe it's useful. Maybe it's useful. Once again, we're back to these little low-res videos. It's quite hard to tell what things do, right? So you've got an ammo crate, and you can see that you throw it down, and you can see the guy in the video go and pick it up. But because the video is so small and so low res, it's quite hard to tell it's actually giving him ammo. Now, you can tell because the text in the top left says what it does. So it is clear. It's a little bit wordy. It's kind of my only comment there. It's like large supply cache, resupply of general munitions and explosives will automatically supply friendlies over a large area. It's like, it could just say, we'll resupply your ammo and explosives over an area, right? Like, it's a little bit narrative, but whatever. That's a minor point. It doesn't really matter. Vehicles, yeah, fuck yeah, vehicles. All really cool. And being able to show the seats with the icons is cool. Like that's really clear, right? Like how many seats are there in these things and what do the seats do? That information is instantly understandable. And being able to customize this stuff as well. It's like, oh my god, look at the level of customization I've got. And it's like this customization menu is different to the gun customization menu, right? And I'm not saying it should be the same, but it could be. Or the gun customization menu could be this. Probably not, actually, because I guess in your sites you're going to have like 10 or 15 sites, so it would be a little bit weird. But like there are ways to add consistency throughout the UX that feels like they're just not doing, or it feels like they've kind of decided to not care about, which is, I guess, okay. And then the hardware appearance, yeah. Some tank skins. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. Some cool stuff there. So to get back to the play screen, there's a couple of backs. Yeah, that's kind of it, really. Like, those are my comments. I don't think that they need to change anything necessarily. It's just there's been some strange design decisions, and I can see people getting frustrated by how to interact with the front end of this game. And I think there are reasons for that beyond just it's a bit janky. Like it's not. It does work. It's just there are some design decisions that have been made, and there are some areas where there are weird inconsistencies or weird consistencies or weird links or kind of weird UX decisions that will make the experience less than it could be. And that's pretty much it. I don't know what purpose this video serves, but I kind of wanted to just go through that because I think it's important. So yeah, thank you very much for your time, everybody.